Welcome to the stream. How's everything? Hey Panzer, hey Millie. Thanks for redeeming first, Millie. Wait, so Panzer, you want 2 bingo cards?
It's so quiet. How is everyone in the cafe now?
Alright, so we're working on this one since it's about to end. 8 hours left. And then, let's see, what's this? I guess we might do some of those before we hop on to Honkai. Trudge in the Long Night. The Challenger. So let's see if this is puzzles or if it's story. I don't know.
A voice came from above and spoke to the man.
Oh, nice! It has voice saying.
An important thing will happen to you.
The lecturer is long, young, and proud, standing like a newly sprouted grapevine growing upward. What would it be? The man asks. You will gain wealth. You will gain fame. You will walk into the garden of wisdom and happiness. The voice answered. Thus, until he died, he spent his life waiting for his fortune, and it never arrived. The lecturer worked from one side of the square to the other, an upward scroll in his hands. The voice from above brought promise, a glimpse of his forthcoming fate. He believed in the promise, and in doing so, forged his own tragic end. Hey Theo, how's everything? A soft, contented cooing coming from the audience.
37.
37. The whisper fails to waken the sleeping girl. After hesitating for a moment, Sophia reaches out and gently shakes 37. This looks like when they were younger for some reason. Huh? What's happening? 37 rubs her eyes, lifts her disheveled hair, and looks around in a daze. Has 210 finished his speech yet? She got bored of his speech? Not yet, but you were sleeping so soundly just now that you were just snoring a bit. I was worried they might hear you. And it doesn't seem polite to sleep during someone else's speech. Apologies for 210. You know how much he enjoys delivering his lecture. He's always so concerned about whether he has the audience's attention. Surely, though, it's worse to hinder others from acknowledging knowledge like this. Truth should neither rely on self-rhetorical nor be so opaque in presentation. I fail to see how there could be any real knowledge in this flamboyant. So you see, I'm simply lessening his sin. At least the rhythm of his speech makes it for a fine sleeping aid. 37 yawns softly and leans against Sophia. Yet the recall about fate, path, and glory of self-selection continues to pour into their ears. "37 opens her eyes once more to see Sophia glazing forward, intently beneath her red hair. Are you truly so wrapped about this topic? I suppose I'm not sure yet. People have always cared about their fate, about what will happen tomorrow, and the next day. I don't know my own number yet. I don't understand my essence, let alone fate." Sophia's gaze drops to her clenched hands, resting in her lap. His lecture does make sense, working hard and striving forward is obvious a good thing,
But
but I feel like I still haven't found my way. I only just arrived here. There's so much for me to learn. Sophia's voice is subdued, fading until finally reaching a whisper. She takes a deep breath, as if to revitalize her spirit, and lifts her eyes to look at 37. What about you, 37? Aren't you curious at all about your fate? She's back to sleep. 37 breathes out a steady huff. It's not the greatest prime number. Obvious, she needs sleep, and she is especially adapted to falling into deep slumber. 210's impassioned rhetorical is apparently so tedious to her that she can't hold her eyes open even another moment. When a man lays sick in bed, he cries up to the voice from above, asking, "When will all that you have promised finally arrive?" The voice from above scorns him, saying, "It has already come and gone, only you never sought it out." So the man lamentated his cowardice, his idleness, and all the fortune he has lost.
I hope.
That's why we should be vigilant about our own fortune. We must keep our vision clear, listen to our own voice, and not stagnate and wait for the promise of others. If we succumb to cowardice or complacency, even those gifts promised to us by fate can slip away. Human innovation and knowledge comes from courage, a thirst for truth, and constant curiosity. It is for this reason that we must forge our own path and control our own fates. Yeah, Abby, how's everything? He raises his hand high, and the future rhetorician begins to emerge. As he makes his elegant speech, a pile of seashells amass before him, one by one, representing the audience's supports. He is satisfied, but not completely.
Well,
Fate, yes, but as we were discussing fate, we cannot ignore the fate of those sitting among us. Our stars of Hermes fell upon the fate of birth, bringing us hope of enlightenment. We could let her speak to show her light has diminished, but it seems sleep has taken hold of her, preventing her from shining. So does he notice that 37 is sleeping? 210 turns around and points abruptly to the other side.
but
But fortunately, there are still those among us who can represent the adversity of fate. He extends his hand, palms up, fingers forward, in an inviting gesture. The crowd dispersed like startled fish, revealing a young man.
my friend,
Come, Atticus, my friend. He who will retrieve the revelation. You are destined to become the perfect number, to receive all the wisdom and the promises due. Our future leader of Espern. Don't let silence swallow that light. Please articulate to us your views about fate and share your wisdom. The young man gives a prestigious title, does not stand out in the crowd. His gaze slides over the inviting hand and rests on an empty spot in the air besides it.
I think otherwise.
This is your speech, not mine, 210.
but
But surely no one understands fate better than you, our perfect six, awaiting the arrival of your fate every moment, every day. The young Orton holds the moment of anticipation. Yes, if anyone deserves to show wisdom compared to his own, it will be his present target. He greatly sneaks the arrival of what he imagined to be an evenly matched debate. All eyes move to surround Atticus. Accustomed to being invisible in a crowd, he attempts to turn slightly as if to escape the challenge and the weight of their gaze. Atticus doesn't seem too happy. What is this revelation that 210 is talking about? Oh, nothing important, just a lot of nonsense. All leaders are supposed to receive a special revelation when their soul numbers are revealed. It's a sign of sixth succession to leadership. Like the Oracle of Apollo and Daphne? The commotion must have disturbed her sleep, or perhaps it was the peacocking of the Norton that wakened her.
You have a point.
It all sounds incredible. Are you saying that to hear the voice of God? Or is it something about numbers? The redhead, still new to island, seems in awe. However, 36 thinks it's no big deal. But the leader's number has always been 6, so there's nothing new about this revelation. We already know the outcome.
Hmm?
210 used far too many meaningless words. Why not call him 6?
Hmm?
You mean call Atticus 6? But isn't the current 6 that person?
Certainly.
Well, yes, Atticus hasn't received the revelation yet. But he will be 6 eventually. It is his destiny. I don't really know about that. The young man's voice grows louder, interrupting the distant whisper. How can that be? You are number 6, we all know. You will become 6 and possess everything a 6 should have: infinite wisdom, supreme vision, a sharp mind, and the pose of a leader. Since you inherit the bloodline of the prophecy, your revelation has been presented since your birth, and even more clear than a voice from above. See how similar you are to the person in the story? You both heard the prophecy, and you both know your own fate. What did you gain from it, and what did you hear? It's a bold challenge, a verbal challenge from the proud peacock to the island's future leader. You didn't throw your seashell. I want to know why. Perhaps you can illuminate some of your ever-hidden thought?
I hope.
My friend, it is through the clashing of mind in the debate that we can gain a deeper understanding of one another. I pray you will share. His speech is interrupted by a crisp clattering sound. He looks down to see a new addition to the seashells at his feet. His hope for a porter gently tosses his challenge aside, along with the shell. 210 cannot read anything other than humiliation in the shell. You misunderstand, 210. I have no thought on fate. Atticus finally meets his gaze.
I don't have an answer to your question.
To be continued. Let's see. A bottle. That time we parted on poor terms. After a long while, I grew taller. The hem of my dress has risen to my ankles, to my calves, and Atticus and I brought up the avoided debate again. So they get older now?
Atticus.
When I found Atticus, he was, as usual, wandering alone on the beach. I always found him there early in the morning, so if I needed to speak with him, I could come here at the same time.
Good morning.
Good morning, Sophia. He was bringing his stranded fish back to the sea. As it flashed from his hands, he gave me a smile.
Good morning.
Of all the people on the island, Atticus is the one I could communicate with the easiest. It wasn't anyone else's fault. A Piran operated on its own set of rules to maintain stability. It was always going to be difficult for outsiders to break into the tight-knit community. But my visit to the beach were not just to see him. Are you here to collect your sand again today?
Yes.
Yes, the fine sand is a deal for polishing lens. My father's eyeglasses are just about ready. His eyesight has been deteriorating more and more. I hope these will help. Maybe it's because of my father's health. I feel more sensitive than usual. This is not a good time to confine. This morning, he woke up and asked me why it's still dark. Hasn't the day arrived yet? I worry. Worried that the glasses won't keep up with the decline. Or perhaps that they were never going to help him. And yet, you still made them. I'm pretty sure it has a declarative sentence, yet I sense his confusion inside, more confusion than in any question. But I'm not always right, especially on this island. So perhaps I'm imagining things. I stopped speaking, knowing that sharing my worries over my father will do nothing to lessen them. The sea breeze blows over us. Each seagull's cries is distant and loud. In the school, such unusual quietness often caused an uneasy feeling in my heart, anxiety. But now, despite the silence between us, my breathing is even. This peace of moment feels comforting. Time passes in hours as the sunlight reaches overhead near its zenith. At last, Atticus stands up. Are you leaving? Yes, it's nearly lunchtime. But it's still early yet. Are you hungry? No. He shakes his head slightly, a bit uneasy. I need to go early, or there won't be any quiet spot left. Or is that why I rarely encounter him on the other route I walk? Why don't you sit with us? Is it because of 210? I asked softly, then immediately regretted it, realizing that it is my appropriate question would only cause awkwardness. Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to. Panic occupies my mind, and I struggle to come up with a suitable excuse. No. Atticus' response surprises me. He gently shakes his head.
I think otherwise.
I'm not specifically trying to avoid him. As if sensing my guilt, he smiles. Before 210 was 210, he didn't look kindly on me. Of course, that has to do with his competitive nature, which I never minded. Then he became 210, a number easily factored. And well, everything that came next feels terribly unpredictable. He looks down at the sand, then lifts his head again. I know why you asked, Sophia. Please don't take it too hard. That speech was just a trigger. Our interaction has always been like this.
Yes.
I try to remember the debate that came out of nowhere. I don't quite understand. When I first arrived here, you took excellent care of me. And you, 210 and 37, grew up together as friends.
But
then, after your debate with him, I was young, and then I was flippant on my behavior. I provoked him, given his character. I knew he would take it as humiliation. It was my decision, so I must accept the consequences of it. But that wasn't the debate, Sophia. He didn't want my point of view. Atticus' voice and manners are as calm and cool as a sea breeze. His description of this conflict between 210 feels more like it came from a distant observer. I know him, and I know myself. We think differently. He is not in need of exchange of ideas. In fact, he's not at all interested in what I think. He just wants a victory.
yes.
He is competitive. His tone remains even emotionless. An exchange of ideas like that is purposeless. Each side will stick to its own option, vainly trapped in position. In the end, there's no mutual understanding. It only further reinforces their own defense. He sighs, the confusion surfaces again. I tried, but people always step in the same river over and over again. Facing this inevitable end, any action at all seems futile. I'm not sure what to say. If words hold merit, but I sometimes feel. Before I came utter another word, Atticus asked me a pointed question. Sophia, you're smart. You know enough about your father's health. You also know that those glasses won't be of much help to him. Why do you choose to struggle so much against the path of fate? It's an offensive question, and I feel at first I should be uncomfortable with it. But I know it's different from Atticus. His confusion is genuine, not mocking or cruel. I rarely have the opportunity to mentor others on the island. The whole thing is unfamiliar to me. I don't know. I regret my response. It is too hasty, too dismissive. In fact, I have a real reason clear in my mind. When my mother was dying of her illness, I felt so powerless. I know I don't want to experience that a second time. I have to do something, anything. I take a deep breath, trying to gather my shattered thoughts. You're right, Atticus. Even with effort, you can't avoid the inevitable.
But I think we can't just sit around and do nothing about it.
The inquisition in his eyes is piercing. I feel something I have to explain it in a way. Prepping for the inevitable is like preparing a bomb for the morning class. Practicing and reminding oneself of upcoming difficulties make it easier to face them. I feel I don't often, or rather, I lack the time to really consider a meeting. Sometimes the quality that allows us to face our fate is the necessary courage. It might just be the fear of the truth. Perhaps I'm destined to forget that lengthy palm. Perhaps that there's nothing I can do for my father. But preparing for what must come is better than doing nothing at all. But giving hope to others must be done in the name of courage. If nothing else,
I just think.
if a glass bottle on the table is destined to fall, I will put a cloth on the floor around it, so even if the bottle does break, the mess will be easier to clean. I turn to Atticus. He's frowning, as if pondering my words. Atticus, you don't usually want to answer that question, do you? I speculate on his thoughts, and this is also offensive. I heard from 37 and others in the school about the revelation. I don't understand what it is exactly, but they say it's a gift of fate. Just like the voice from above, the revelation promises all the wisdom of the world to the sixth of each generation.
But
I try to express everything I feel. Do you fear it? I don't know. His voice is so faint that the words almost feel illusional, like a false memory. Then it begins to roar.
If this gift is from the above,
And it never asks for your own desire or care about your existence, can it still be called a gift?
so we really have no choice but to kneel before destiny, begging for its love and mercy.
Atticus' hands tremble slightly. I'm surprised by the rage and intensity in his voice. I've never seen him so upset. The people of the island are genuinely reserved due to their intellect. 210 is an outsider, but Atticus' words are even sharper. Maybe this is the perspective we held back from that debate. So I turn away from the table. I don't want to see whether the bottle is teetering. Atticus finally looks at the fine sand in my hands. But I think you're right. I only remembered at the end of our conversation, he came towards me with a kind expression on his face. That expression was like a smile, yet also like sorrow or perhaps relief. A face filled with determination.
Thank you for the long talk, Sophia.
And thank you for listening to me, Atticus. We said goodbye as we did countless times before, not affectionately, but also not quite distantly. I returned downhill to my home to continue making the lens I knew would never be any part used to my father. He went upstairs to his house, back to the brilliance of the current six, and their supreme wisdom.
Goodbye.
I don't know why I said goodbye to Atticus. He turns back, nodding his head in acknowledgement. After that, I have never seen Atticus walking to the beach again. He begins his long retreat. The oyster shell. I wonder if there's any fighting yet.
Hey!
It's time for us to go. I took a deep breath and adjusted the grapevines on my head, trying to make it look as symmetrical as possible. In my youth, the third weekend of each month with an even-numbered date was the happiest for me.
Well,
Let's go. I'm ready. It was a day of speculation when the Sixth Quarter invited the island's finest youth to talk. They would not overcome me just as a girl collecting shells on the beach wouldn't miss a pearless oyster. The usually bustling square is deserted and I long with few other students pause outside.
please wait.
For one moment, let me inquire about the situation. It seems our Star of Hermes is in need of some sleep. You ought to keep an eye on the time. That's a number so as well. At least time is counted as numbers. You like numbers?
No.
I can see everyone's number, but I never said I liked all numbers.
I hope.
I hope you want to say, about to say you just like 210. Ha! Related to our likes and dislikes, 210 is simply a good poor number. It has 4 prime factors, yet lacks a solid base, so it's prone to deformation like a rhombus.
Well, it is no surprise.
We know prime numbers is born half unique, understands the cornerstones of all others. Composome numbers are saying. Well, it's no surprise. We know the prime numbers are born unique, standing like a cornerstone of all others. Composite numbers are slightly inferior for this and fast decaying paintings. Why bring up all the prime numbers and composite numbers? We're just talking about 210. I don't understand your mythology, and I don't understand why you always call me the Star of Hermes. Is it because Hermes is the thrice greatest and he has the 7th Homer principle? But I'm 37, not 3 and 7. They are not the same conceptual. You shouldn't make such a fundamental mistake in your understanding of numbers. It is hardly a pleasant chat. My relation with 37 has never been harmonious, but we grow accustomed to this banter, tit-a-tat, tat-a-tat, always attacking each other. That's just how we interact. The familiar of all breed concept, as we walked at the same old path, arguing over things we debate hundreds of times. But it's on these familiar paths that the moment of holiness can make the most change.
Sorry.
I'm sorry you two might have to wait a little longer. Six isn't ready for you yet, but she won't need much time. You can follow me to the gazebo under the grapevine to sit in the shade and wait for your meeting. Her first time being late in all these years. 37 follows 6 coordinator, moving at pace towards the vine-draped gazebo. Meanwhile, my steps are hesitant, and my thoughts have become a mess. Is our leader ill? The unease of the moment spread in my mind. Everyone on the island knows that the leader's health is in a reversible decline. Excellence often invite the envy of fate. The lifespan of each of the six has been limited as sort. Atticus' mother, the previous six, left this world when he was still young. Then the current six received the revelation, becoming the new leader of the school, and of course, in my opinion, the finest leader. 6. Perfect, balanced, harmonious. She stores the green cry from all other forms and traverse the hidden feature of the universe. One night, I wonder how many more times would I be able to converse with her. So filled with wisdom, unique understanding, both her partners, and the courage to seek out the new and novel and not be complainant. She deserves all the respect and adoration. I am willing to make time for the discussion, whether it may be emotions lead to rationalness, and rationality is associated with calmness. I have ignored the coordinator's expression, his lips bumbling like a tide coming in and out of the shore.
No.
No, it's not because of that. You two rest here. When it's time for the meeting, I'll let you know.
Oh, fine.
Alright, I suppose we could take a stroll here while we wait. What a pity. It's not in season yet. If it were, we would have picked some grapes to eat.
Um,
37, did you hear something?
Hmm? Certainly.
Ah, yeah, I heard something too, but it was vague and muffled. I think it's over there, deeper in the grapevine. The star of Herman is so quickly to act upon her thoughts. I follow her, stepping deeper into the vine-laden arbor, until we find a door left ajar, and unintentionally from a fortunate encounter.
Yeah.
It is Atticus. I haven't seen him in so long. She spots our childhood friend, his pale face disturbed beneath a mop of light blonde hair. Six is talking to Atticus. I heard Atticus Charlie comes out during his retreat, unlike Six, who does every other week. Now you don't have to worry about Six. She may look pale, but at least she has the strength to talk. She just delayed a bit because she is talking with Atticus. Despite 37 word, it's clear Six's health is more fragile than before. Her face is paler than Atticus, and her voice is faint, emerging in the air like gentle rain into water. I can see her lips moving, but I can't hear her voice. She reaches out a hand, weakly grasping the hem of Atticus' shirt, and pulls back. Six all has similar appearance, with their talent depending on hierarchy, blood, blonde hair, slender figure, pale skin, and wizened eyes. They're like idols carved in the same mold, perfect reflections of flawless lineage. She leans forward. She leans forward, a posture not easy for her in her current state. Our friend Atticus remained standing upright, his eyes looking into space, as if indifferently and utter devoid of respect. I'm not sure if there's a fear in those eyes, but I'm certain of the anger echoing in my chest in reaction to the rude silence. It is an irritation not easily soothed. Disregard, it is the greatest disrespect and insult. It tastes like bad wine. I tasted it before, and coincidentally, that bad wine is also a gift from his very same cool statue that stands before me. I could forgive his rudeness towards me, but he shouldn't treat Six this way. Six has always selflessly guided us to the pursuit of truth, setting us straight when the path forward is not clear. On top of that, she is Atticus' mom. After the previous Six returned to the truth, she took over, caring for Atticus as the mother would. Huh? That scope jogging hand, covering the slightest wrinkled one, pulled the hem free. So disrespect, so rude. Atticus draws away and steps through the narrow door. The gaze from his kin follows him in silence until it is cut off by the door's panel. You, what are you doing here? Surprise flickers across his face. He looks strangely tired. I had more right to be here than you. It's the third weekend of the month and an even date. I see. Stop. You shouldn't be allowed to just slip away without any criticism. My anger is more justified. You shouldn't have done that to her. You treated the island's leader like this way, a wise person, his own kin, an elder in failing health. How could he do this? How? I'm curious, do you even have self-awareness? What do you mean? I think my question is clear enough. I meet Atticus' gaze, more than satisfied that I haven't broken his calm.
My friend.
Atticus, my friend. Everyone on this island knows that you were born at 6 and are destined to become the leader of Esperon. Destined to receive the revelation. Do you even understand the weight of this blessing? I don't have time for your debate.
No.
This isn't a debate. I'm trying to offer some help. I have narrowed in on him. No more room for him to evade me. A mission bestowed from the heaven. You receive its great number and become the mediator of between access and defection.
In fact?
The amalgamation of knowledge and wisdom for every 6 since the accession of the different world, without any artificial drilling. And to your mind, the moment you receive your number, you will make a great leap. Do you think I need you to explain the concept to me? Oh, it certainly felt like that way. It felt like that, and it felt like it. I snorted out and laughed like a true victor. Atticus is different today. His usual inventiveness is gone, replaced with anxiety. This insults me. I try to seize on the gap, like pried open on oyster to expose its inside to the sea air. Now, looking back at the moment, I can deny that I lost control. But it wasn't a day to be defeated, at least by him. Should I point out your attitude to 6? She's weaker than before. You should treat her like this. Get out your rhetorical. Thanks for the lurk, Panzer. What are you trying to say? Hear that? The oyster shell has cracked. What a great deed to be feared by the truth. This is simply too easy. Your disrespect towards her. She is 6, one who possesses wisdom, balance, wholeness. As a fine leader, she manages everything on the island with great efficiency. She cares for the children, connects with the public, and treats you as her own. She has taken on all the duties of your late mother. She is intellect, courageous, and shares willingly with everyone. She's a role model for 6. As for you, Atticus, you don't deserve the revelation. You lack the willingness to share knowledge and the talent to lead. You haven't, and you will not fulfill your obligation. You cannot bear this blushing. You are unworthy of it. He suddenly falls silent. So, do you think the revelation is a blessing? I didn't expect him to focus his sight on the mere truth of phase.
Of course.
We see the truth, and the truth lies in wisdom. It's not just me. All the brothers and sisters of Austrian thinks that this. That's why we respect 6. He remains standing upright, but I notice his shoulder drooping slightly, as if some invisible weight presses upon him. The revelation is my curse, my friend. As it hangs his head, I almost read it as nodding, but as he stood nodding to himself. This isn't what I meant at all. Our sure has shriveled into pebbles. You're right. She's perfect. She's 6. A complete number, a perfect person, and an outstanding leader. 6 are always like that. He turns away, sidestepping my obstructing hand, and walks towards the exit, with light streams from beyond the grapevine arbor. Alright, number 4. Wait, tasks. So actually, so you can tell me. Oh, there's 10? 10 tasks? Okay. So we're at 4. So that means we're counting this 7 more. Not sure if there's any after story. A demonstration. Haha. This new dish tastes wonderful. Why has no one thought of putting fruit in their sour yogurt before? I'm glad you like it. I learned the combination before coming to this island. If you ask me, the flavor tastes like 143. 11 and 13 are good numbers, and together they factor into another excellent number. It was an ordinary day in all respects. Sophia and I grabbed some food and lounged by the gazebo in the square.
Well,
Nice, another compliment true to your style.
Oh.
Well, I didn't realize you were here too. Of course, so did 210. Keep your head down, 210.
no.
Please, this is hardly an appropriate time, 37. Although I think the number 210 is significantly overestimated by the public, I wouldn't hate as a walking grapevine stand. It's been a while since I ate the grapes on your head. They're still so sweet. I'm thinking of grabbing a few more to try them in the yogurt. Please, 37. We're not kids anymore. No more leaping up to snatch grapes from my head like the old times. It's undignified. Oh, don't be like that. I like grapes and other fruits. I like their blend of tart and sweet flavor. Carrying around grapes is one of your few endearing qualities. Don't downplay it. Sophia, why are you smiling?
I just
Oh,
think.
nothing. Just feeling nostalgic. It's been ages since you have been together for a meal like this. It reminds me of when we were younger. Back then, we had fewer responsibility and more time to be put together. We meet again. We meet up for meals now and then, and even head to the beach for some fun.
Well,
As I recall, it is a gift that first brought the four of us together.
Yes.
Right. The gift I gave to Atticus. I was new to Island then, and Atticus had been so helpful to me, so I decided to make him a hat out of Ella Toya fabric.
given that,
It's because his hair has gotten so long, always falling into over his eyes and getting in the way of his reading. Our star of Hemas gave us a great suggestion. It's only when we look back how we realize how far we come. Talking about the path brings some joy, huh? A scarf or hat is too plain. It fades over time and lacks geometric beauty. We shouldn't give him a diagram headpiece, a sturdy or slender one. That way it will be too hot in the summer or get damp in the rainy season. Stretching out my hand, I'll make a fitting triangle shape with the index finger and thumb of both hands. A equilateral triangle is the best shape. It will make a unique gift.
Oh.
It's just a pity that the plan fell through. That's why I always say Atticus should thank me. 210 has begun to eat the grape draping from his head as well. A sure sign that he's beginning to relax. It was me who met you in the front of the blacksmith shop and reshaped the crown into a more angular circle.
given that,
Otherwise, he always hurt himself when he bumped into things.
No.
No, not at all. Comfort is pointless. The essential beauty of Atticus is far more important, like the clothes we wear. Regarding, he accepted my gift and the crown indeed helped keep his hair in place.
Perhaps?
Maybe I can volunteer to deliver Atticus a meal today. Bring him some fruit and yogurt and we have a chat with him.
No.
Not today. After finishing my fruit and yogurt, I have other things that I must do. I have planned it all out and set the time earlier. The task has already been assigned to me today. This is my first time on meal delivery duty. Most of the time, I'm preoccupied with much more demanding tasks. It requires me to spend some time explaining my reason. 6. 37. He must be surprised by my arrival. As surprised as when he first heard me call him 6 instead of Atticus. I have something I want to talk to you about. We can eat while we're listening. I crossed the porch and then stooped to pass through the low inner doors. His retreat room is dim, cramped, and completely windowless. The floor is littered with books, some open, some closed. Placing the meal on the small table, I sit down across from Atticus.
Oh.
This is fruit from shower yogurt, a combination Sophia learned from the outside. It tastes so much like 133 in the best way.
thank you.
Thank you. I scanned the book 6. Wait, I scanned the book 6's reading. Euclid, Elements. Nothing more than a basic primer in our school. A small hint of books lies beside him, their edge showing signs of being turned. He must have read them all. And by the way, wait, and why are you here? It's not like your job to deliver meals to those in retreat. Is there something you need from me? He ponders and seems to answer his own question wordlessly. He seems different from usual. I'm not good at debates outside of proof, and you've always been so smart and precise. 210's reasoning is too absurd and flowery, and Sophia's answers feels too mild. 6 is just right to answer such a question. The bigger 6 lacks spare time, always talking about the ship, too busy to even stop for a moment. So I can give to you the smaller 6, as opposed to the bigger 6. Atticus seems to have gotten used to me calling him 6. But Many people on the island still call him Atticus. They say they can't be two 6 on the island at the same time. She will make time for you. She values you all, and she's better exploring these kind of issues.
But
You're just not one for talking. It's not like you're bad at thinking. She is the current 6.
makes no difference to me.
It makes no difference to
She
me.
was
She
a
is
6,
the 6.
and so are
And
you.
so are you. You're the same in essence. My question is ready, but the path forward isn't smooth. This is a common occurrence in calculation, but I won't be discouraged about it. If one path is blocked, take a detour. If all paths are blocked, climb through the bushes. Bushes and walls of books aren't all that different. I know how to climb past them to reach my destination. 26 thinks I shouldn't overlook the process of proof. I know that. My mother taught me the same. Steps should be imprinted on paper and actually to give more meaning to a result. But 26 believes that even proof leading to the wrong result should be documented. To me, that seems implausible. Everyone knows that the result of proof is what matters most. A proof that's wrong shouldn't exist from the start, like your elements. It wouldn't include false theorem. I think he's wasting time. Focusing on a trivial only distracts from our judgment of true essence. But I can't detect whether I am right or wrong. I need your help. He closes elements and turns towards me. I suddenly realize it's been a long time since we met. His blue eyes are becoming more like those of 6. Yes, as they should. 6 are the same essence. You mean 26? The sincere man who, in his youth, led the children of Esperon in their training, including you and me? 37. Why do you need to know the right or wrong in this? What kind of question is that? Everything ought to have an answer. I just want to know it. That's all. He smiles and shakes his head. Words kill the essence. I think 27 just wants to keep a record of your trials and errors to inform future seekers. He always values the passing down of knowledge, and you were always the trailblazer. He's sincere but also clumsy. He probably quickly forget his origin purpose when he came to you. Perhaps you both lost sight of each other's motive in an argument. Did you quarrel? Huh? See, 6 is right. It wasn't a pleasant debate between 26 and me since Sophia's arrival. I have not seen anyone give me that kind of look.
But
Alright, I understand about 26's mindset, but I still want to know, is there any value in proof with a conclusion that turns out to be wrong? Occasionally, such questions could cause 6 to ponder briefly, but now, his response is swift. Looks like I'm in luck. 37. Value is relative.
objection.
Well, it shouldn't be. People ought to have only value of proof because it's correct. If there's no measure of judgment, why do we distinguish right from wrong at all? I actually don't care about the answers to this question. It's relevant to mathematics. But debate over definitions are always my weakness. Though I'm convinced that I'm right, I fail to convince others. Numbers are solid and reliable, while language is vague and unclear. People argue endlessly over rhetorical and semantics, shifting focus away from the essence of things. 6 is the best of us of all these questions. He always finds a fable that makes things simple and understanding. I went to 6 to tell me a fable, so the next time I get into a debate, I can come up with a perfect example. I'm sorry, 37. I can't help you with that right now. Six shifts his gaze away, turns a page, and adjusts the angle of the crown pressing on his head. It looks like it will make a fine paperweight. The metallic triangle that's certainly more ideal than fabric is the roll. I can wait for you to finish your page.
No.
No, it's not about the page. I truly don't know how to answer your question. Or maybe I'm searching for the answer too. I watch him close the book, sliding it back to the mountains of others.
Oh,
So when you're done reading
Fine.
all these books, will you have the answer? I don't know. It's all better to try something than to do nothing at all. That doesn't sound like his usual style. I feel like I heard that somewhere else. It's from Sophia. He really has changed. It's strange. Can a parent change all noticeably while its essence remain the same? There must be a key to this.
so is this
Is
the
this the
proof you have to give?
One that requires a room full of books and a long retreat. The ultimate proof.
Yeah.
Then you should have told me earlier. I don't want to be taken by a proxy and be tied to a rock just to have my eye pecked out by vultures.
No.
No, it's not that serious. I'm just contemplating the nature of 6. Maybe this is indeed proof, one of my own numbers. Huh, but you already know the answer. What's there left to prove? 6 answer seems to wait for a breath. He flips through the book with a faint smile. In that lies a whole other question entirely, 37. Does a proof that with a correct conclusion have any value? Because that single phrase 6 has utterly bewildered me. I'm 37, he is 6, right from birth. Neither of us have proved any our numbers, but we simply know the answer to be right. That's enough. The essence cannot change. So why would 6 ask such a question? It's a needless worry, a waste of effort. But I suddenly feel I should disturb him anymore. The work of proof must be interrupted or hindered. That's a rule everybody knows. He escorts me to the door from his retreat room, and I stood again to pass through the lower inner door. This door, obstructing vision as well as movement, makes it feel more like a cave than a doorway. It makes the retreat seem even more sealed off. Hey, okay, I'm out. I can't clearly recall how I bid farewell to 6 or whether he cautioned me to watch my step. I know I didn't get a straight answer from him. Only another question was tacked on, one that's left me confused and a little dizzy. Fortunately, just as I leave the cave, I feel the night sea breeze. A solution I had disregarded earlier comes back to me. A perfect time, if only. I hurry home to write it down. On the way, I cross paths with Sophia again. Her expressing some concerns for 6 and asking me about him. Does he... Do you know what his... Does he read a lot? Is he still in good health? Is he working on the proof? What kind of proof is it? He reads many books, as many as a small mountain. His health is fine. He eats well and breathes evenly. I know nothing of his proof, but in any case, it seems to be proof without himself. So we're at the half point mark. We'll finish 5 and then take a small, like what, 10-15 minute break. The book for children. Proof requires time. Atticus still hasn't fully gotten his own answer.
A voice from the above spoke to a man.
An important thing will happen to you. Outside his retreat room, people are chopping down trees from the forest, sliding the wood into planks, and then fashioning sticks and joints from the planks. The outline of the ship has already taken shape. Thus, he spends his life waiting for a miracle, until death arrives and nothing has happened. A ship signifies the start of a journey. It carries people and goods across water. It discovers new world. People call out, communicating with one another, choosing a direction. When the man lays sick in bed, he cries up to a voice from above, asking, "When will all of you have promised? That you have promised finally arrive?" Pushing, pushing, and then more pushing. Clear grooves are left in the sand. Please come in. Who is it, Sophia? 37? A figure appears at the entrance of the retreat room. He walks over to the desk and places a dinner tray, but does not sit down.
Well, that's outstanding.
Oh, 210. Wouldn't have guessed it was him. Since they had issues earlier. It's strange that you actually feel like talking. They are not on friendly terms, but 210's attitude resembling a brittle tomcat. Atticus lowers his head and flips through the pages, and then his crown to hold down the books before looking at him. This has nothing to do with my personal feeling. You must have something to say since you came here specifically. That being the case, you might as well just ask. The ship has already set sail. Many people are on that ship. People we know, people who watch us grow. The cook, the accountant, the Rata operator, Sophia's father, and 6. They're all on the ship. For a small island that has so far managed to avoid the Emily explore. You mean I don't know his real name, but his number is 210. Wait, is the one with the grapevine on his head, or the one with the crown? This is destined to be the great journey where people confirm and reconfirm their hypnosis, seeking their lives on the opportunity to discover a new horizon and search for the truth. Sophie already told me that the ship has to be completed. Yeah, because for him, 210, he likes to I guess talk about himself, and like when there's like reporters, they like he try to like, you know, focus everything on himself. The windowless and narrow doored retreat is cut off from the outside world, and it seems that its further exploration movement hasn't affected any of Atticus's plans. He never steps out to see the new beginning, as if the island's achievement has nothing to do with him. Yeah, but also I'm wondering, like, is 210 gonna be a playable character? Because I haven't seen him yet. Hey Narissa, how's everything? Piles of book has been shifted around, spreading outwards, while new books are placed closer to the inner circle, like ripples from a droplet of water on the surface of a lake. I'm doing pretty well. Still tired. Aren't you gonna see them off? I'm still in retreat. Oh, I forgot to check what my percentage is. I am still in retreat. You never intend to fulfill your duties. I think you have to do it again, because I think there might be like a... I think it might have been like a 10-second timer. See, perhaps it's the determination of fate that sets you apart, or maybe the brilliance of another six that will make you feel so inferior. The exclamation resentment between them further sharpens his word. So right now, like 6 and Atticus and 210 are not on friendly terms. The young man has followed his inspiration, which developed reverence, and then he comes into contact with envy, resignation, suspicion, and resentment. He starts to question himself, and then, suddenly, fate itself. I can't help but wonder if you're truly capable of doing the job of a 6. Your respect for 6, Alma, has blinded you.
I think otherwise.
Your questioning doesn't come from the heart. Emotions are clouding your judgment. The page of the book turns to a new chapter, and a familiar fable jumps out. 6 is only a number.
Therefore,
You should listen more to what 37 says. The number is a significantly older estimate of the public. A fable that tells a familiar story. This is the third time Atticus has read it today. This topic should end now. You delivered your message. Now, we should get back to our respective work. Go back to 10. I don't want to argue with you. That crown of his is infuriating. My friend, what book are you reading? What kind of work has touched your heart, making you so obsessed with it that you neglect friends and family? This actually contradicts his modest tone. He reaches out and discreetly pulls out that book that has been the subject of his undue attention. 210's breathing becomes deep and slow, his heart bubbling like a flat bread on a stove. It's a picture book, the voice from above. It's so familiar, so ordinary. Every child on the island has heard of the story at some point or another.
Meaning?
Is this what you've been busy with, reading these children books? Not only those, but indeed them as well. Atticus speaks calmly, as if stating something that is a matter of course. A children's fable? In anger, 210 leans forward, clenches his fist, and presses on the table. It seems the curse of being 6 has driven you mad. The wisdom, talent, destined for you have given you the authorities to squander them. Yet, no matter what, you will become a 6, and you will receive all the gifts that come with that crown. You mean you're kinless than a children's fable? You see your friendly neighbors as vague others? A blessing bestowed upon the least deserving person. 210's voice chokes in his throat, then, with a snort, settles out like a flame in water. Your head lacks wisdom, and your heart lacks compassion. He stands straight, palms covering his eyes, hiding his expression.
I can see that you will be the reason why we stagnate in seeking the truth.
Progress is relative. Atticus lifts his head from the book, and his blue eyes are widened. Is it then? Well, let me ask you, my friend. If the wisdom we seek leads us to our own destruction, what would you choose? What do you mean? Are you suggesting that our decision is to explore beyond the island is wrong?
No.
I didn't mean that. The misalignment of the conversation leads to a misunderstanding, and 210 angers almost becomes intangible and touchable. I'm just thinking, no, forget I said anything. The resentment towards one another boils past reconciliation. Fine. Stick to your perspective then. 210 departing footsteps intermingle with Atticus' calm narration, eventually merging into the sound of a wooden door slamming shut. we'll just take I guess we'll take just a small break, maybe like 5 minutes then. Let me see something. Can I? Before that, let's see. Where's this thing? Probably doesn't break it. Let's see. Back to what's 10. So we're at 6. A house, a shelter. After 210 left in anger, I heard a shout of people at as the ship set sail. This debate wasn't planned. It inevitably disturbs the balance, like dropping a pinch of dust on one side of the scale. Each pinch wasn't very heavy. Even a breath could blow it away, but bit by bit, they still made their impact. And the balance began to tilt. The retreat is no place for such argument. From now on, I should not engage in casual conversation. I'm not fond of talking. Silence is a virtue adhered to by many members of the school. But in prolonged solitude, I learned to converse with myself. Language, when devoid of other listeners, diminishes in impact but accelerates self-reflection. I finished these books. Later, I'll tell the coordinator about the new book list. I reach out, pulling out a new book from the bottom of the pile. A scroll moved by my sleeve, slipped from the gaps of the book spine, and falls to the floor. It's a poem I know well, one I used to recite silently during those days of reticence. The Golden Verse. Pythagorean, most famous collection of sayings. Its chronicle is unknown, but the content of the verse is timeless. To think deeply, to strain oneself, to pursue the treasure of the mind and soul, to respect the gods and the supreme, to honor the daemons and inhabitants of the elements, to rise above lower worldly nature. I first heard this poem from Emma. At that time, she wasn't yet a 6, and she went on by her own name. And I was young, so young that I needed an elder to read me those lengthy verses.
Alma.
Aunt Alma, I don't understand. So this is the young Atticus. This part here says, fate is like a huge millstone on which mortals roll back and forth, enduring endless suffering. Do we really have to be like this? Is fate such a bad thing?
Alma. Huh.
Alma moves the books away from her face, yawning under the gazebo.
Why are you not asleep yet?
If you ask me, this weather is just a perfect for a nap under the grapevines. Emma closes her eyes again, ignoring the verses in my hand. In reality, she is never good with kids. She takes care of me in place of my mother. For her, it is just another responsibility she has to undertake. And my mother has more important matters, the responsibility of a 6. One day, that responsibility will also belong to me.
Atticus.
Why don't you come over here and take a nap? Thinking about fate isn't something a child your age should be preoccupied with. But I want to know. I'm eager to ask my question, but Emma just shakes her head.
All right.
Oh yes, you're a good child. You heard much talk from people about 6, fate, truth, the relevance, and other grand topics. But if you stay fixated on these abstract concepts, the happiness that's right in front of you will slip away. Emma takes the verse out of my hands and pats me on the back. Come, Atticus. Lie down now. It's a beautiful day, and these grapes are just ripe. I know you're still thinking about the excoriation of the golden verses. Very few people know how to escape their own misfortune, but for they have not yet seen their own fate. But this sunlight, the sound of the wind, and these naps are just as much as part of who we are. Let's lie here together, savoring the rare, precious moments. Alma places the golden verse on her face and drifts back to sleep. She has always been a humorous and light-hearted person, standing out like a glass bead among pebbles on the island of strict rules. And I am in solitary and precocious child, prematurely subject to the burdensome weight of responsibility. Only around Emma did I feel any relief. Lie down, huh? I heard the birds singing, the winds whispering, the distant sound of waves crashing against the shore. I have read many profound books, memorized many ancient maxims, and dealt with many complex calculations. But it was Emma that provided me with the golden verses, with a page filled with brilliant enunciation. It is a perfect combination. It's a perfect, comfortable warmth, a moment of tranquility that brings no anxiety. Like the waves that occasionally lap my toes on the edge of the island, gently approaching and then retreating, providing me a cool sensation that brings joy to the stroll along the beach. She was like that. So I leave my sheltered home, tread on the soft sand, and experience the understanding she spoke of. Experience what others call playtime. The sand is moist, the sand breeze is salty, my clothes feel heavy, and my skin is calmly with droplets of moisture. The vast sea always by my side, with waves lapping against the shore, yet they never soak me fully. Are we finally do the puzzles?
No.
Darkness itself isn't to be feared. There's no danger in it. Those imaginary numbers only exist in the mind of children who can't distinguish fantasy from reality.
I'm not like them.
I'm not that sort of child, right? Darkness itself isn't to be feared. There's no danger in it.
My duty lies with you. The moment of utterance. We walk in long nights. The moment of silence. The moment of utterance. Benefit from reading. Time for tongues to speak of, time for ears to listen. The scale of your soul has tilted. The balance needs to be restored. Benefit from reading. The moment of utterance. The moment of silence. Learn from silence until the torch is lit. Time for tongues to speak of, time for ears to listen. The scale of your soul has tilted. The balance needs to be restored. Benefit from reading. Victory secured. I should excuse myself.
Fortunately, they're not dangerous. It's time to go home. Emma, I'm back. I spent too much time playing. So much that I forgot fate is like a stone rolling down a high mountain, and eventually it rolls all over us. 6. The original perfect number, a symbol of completeness and harmony. When it manifests in the soul, the revelation from the above is bestowed. A 6 possesses supreme wisdom, pioneering volition, and just balance. They are perfect in any way, like a beacon leading the faithful forward. But only after did I realize what it truly meant. Emma? She doesn't respond to my call or stir at all. Looking back now, my insensitivity as a child picked up of those abnormalities long before my own wisdom did. Suddenly feeling fear, I stopped asking questions, merely holding my breath and cautiously shifting my feet forward. Aunt Elma's back is closed, and the moonlight casts a gentle glow on her fine blonde hair.
Alma.
Look at that. I didn't even notice you were back. Waves roll in again, sweeping over my feet. I called out to you many times, but you didn't respond. Is that so? Emma's voice is soft, her hands warm. Turning hotter, she wraps her arms around my shoulder, drawing my stiff body into her embrace. The sea rises, climbing up to my shins.
Huh.
I was sorting my thoughts. Sorry, I didn't hear you at all. Until just now, my mind was a mess. But I'm thinking more clearly now. I figured it out. She combs my hair, wiping off the sweat I built up from running and straightening my collar.
Poor child.
You're all sweaty now. Wait, you're all sweaty, and there's a rat scratches from the hem of your shirt. You must have run into those little monsters. Don't be afraid, child. Pray to the gods for what you are about to do. Pray that all goes well. I felt it, the dampness reaching up to my chin. Who are you? A question I find lodged in my throat is choking me so much I can barely breathe.
Alma.
Has something happened here?
Hey!
Elma, Atticus, come with me. The man's shout suddenly rings out. He just ran past through the valley of streets, past the hall of Esprit. His sweat-slicked skin shimmers under the moonlight like a soldier bearing bad news, like in the storybook of old. We need to hurry, faster, or it'll be too late. No, it's already too late.
Huh.
The revelation has come. It means she, my sister, has returned to the truth. The knock of wisdom arrives before me, entering my mind and allowing me to see everything. Emma pulls the man's hand from my arm. Her voice is calm, her face sorrowful. She turns her head slightly and hugs me tighter.
Atticus.
Atticus, my poor child.
Poor child.
That means he's probably passed. And now he's taking over at 6. Oh no, she takes over at 6. Oh, I'm gonna pick up 6 that day. The complete number, the perfect person, and I stand leader. 6 was not Elma, not any longer. Let go of me. I wrench her hand away and I desperately try to escape the suffocating tides. Until the choking waves overwhelm me, and I find myself back on the beach, unconscious reciting the golden verses. My fear originated from it, yet when I feel uncertain, I still return here, like a child who can't imagine straying too far from home. Pray to the gods for what you are about to do. Through a bird, the silhouette of the new six emerges. Complete, wise, her words clear and impeccable like the ancient Maximus. Pray to the gods for what you are about to do. Pray that all goes well. When you finally familiarize yourself with all this, you will know the system of eternal gods and mortal men, knowing what encompasses all things in the world and how all they are connected as one. You will understand, as you should, that the universe is uniform everywhere. So you won't hope for what you shouldn't, nor will you be deceived. I can't think of any further. My initial thoughts are blocking my thoughts. Revelation. Is this the revelation that falls upon a six? The sea completely goes my head. The suffocating reminds me that I have lost someone dear for me forever, and this is the blessing from above. For a long time afterwards, I could not sleep in peace. I could often sneak down to the beach, listening to the waves until exhaustion at last closing my eyes. In a daze, a voice of wisdom would say, "Don't fear, child. Remember that the grace of God is given in the form of disaster, and endure it patiently. Such is fate. Do not complain." I vaguely realized something, and I opened my eyes to see the sunny border high on the mountains overlooking the island. One day, it will crush me, just as it had crushed Emma. So I covered my ears and bent down. From then on, I no longer gaze on the mountain on the boulder on the mountain, nor look at teetering bodies at the table. Until much later, when I had a brief conversation with a girl named Sophia. Part 7. Since then, I distanced myself from my friends. So even if I end up like Emma, they won't feel sad for me. When I was a teenager, I walked alone in silence and doubt. Does knowledge transform us from caterpillars to butterflies? Or is it like snakes shedding their skin? After becoming a six, are we changed or discarded? Or is it both? This is a long beach, and it happens to be right along the edge of the sea. I am placed here searching for answers to my question. Those are trying days.
My duty lies with you. The moment of utterance, the moment of silence. Learn from silence until the torch is lit. Stay balanced. The moment of utterance. The moment of silence. We walk in long nights. We walk in long nights.
Is this one target? Okay, it's one target.
Time for tongues to speak of truth. The moment of silence. The scale of your soul has tilted. The balance needs to be restored. We walk in long nights. The moment of utterance. The moment of silence. Benefit from reading. We walk in long nights. Time for tongues to speak of, time for ears to listen. The scale of your soul has tilted. The balance needs to be restored. Learn from silence.
No, you shouldn't doubt. Perfection is the ideal state, and a predetermined fate cannot be defiled.
Time for tongues to speak of truth. Time for ears to listen. The scale of your soul has tilted. The balance needs to be restored. Benefit from reading.
But what if I don't want to accept that for such a fate? Fate cares not for your will. It simply falls down from atop the mountain. It's something transcendent, like the gods on Mount Olympus, watching us indifferently as we struggle in the arena. Everything will happen eventually, so there is no point in panicking, worrying, or fighting it. You are a 6. This is the fate of a 6. All you should and can do is wait.
Until the torch is lit. The scale of your soul has tilted. The balance needs to be restored. Time to hear the moments of silence. The moment of utterance. We walk in long nights. Learn from silence. We walk in long nights. Benefit from reading. Time for tongues, time for ears to listen. Time for tongue, time for a moment of utterance. The scale of your soul has tilted. The balance needs to be restored. Stay balanced.
Am I supposed to take it? To tolerate it? Must I wait for the revelation to descend upon me passionately, transform me into a whole new person? Is this what perfection is? Is this the wisdom we seek? Then who am I in this moment? Where is my will to be directed? Am I merely a vessel for a mission?
Until the torch is lit. The scale of your soul has tilted. The balance needs to be restored. The moment of silence. Time for ears to listen. The moment of silence. Benefit from reading. Until the torch is lit. Until the torch is lit. Learn from silence. Time for tongues to speak of truth. The moment, time for ears to listen. The scale of your soul has tilted. The balance needs to be restored. Until the torch is lit.
This is the only answer I can give you. I don't know. But that is ultimately unimportant compared to the responsibility of the 6.
Victory secured. I should excuse myself.
Are you here to collect your sand again? Wait, are you here to wait? Are you here to collect your sand again today? So she's talking to Sophia, probably.
Yes.
The fine sand here is ideal for polishing lens. My father's eyeglasses are just about ready. Sophia is a hardworking girl. She's always ready to change, to become a better version of herself. She knows nothing of her future fate and therefore has no fear. Her core is so firm, she steps so sure, and is inevitable. Perhaps that one of the reasons I asked her this question. Why did you choose to struggle so much against the path of fate? I didn't really expect an answer from her. It was just a spontaneous curiosity. We are entirely different people. Even if she did give her a reason, it wouldn't help me. Not really. Because I have exhausted every possibility and sought every line of reasoning. My question is unsolvable. Sophia remains silent, wanting to say something, but hesitating. She twishes the end of her hair, avoiding my eyes. I have to do something, anything. That's a particular answer. Without any reason, any logic, just doing something. So I am left puzzled again. But preparing for what you must come is better than doing nothing at all.
By the way.
The glass bottle, like the one on the table. She flusteredly tries to give me an example, inventing a glass bottle that is bound to break, then surrounding it with a cloth. This way, even if the bottle still breaks, you can still pick it up the pieces more easily. It's a practical explanation, pragmatic and devoid of abstraction. This is her answer to fate, the total opposite of mine.
Thank you for the long talk, Sophia.
A new path is carved out between the brothers. Pebbles! So 3 more. 8, 9, and 10. Yeah, I didn't think this thing would be long. I thought it would be like an hour. It's like almost reaching the 2-hour mark now. Stories of fighting against fate are often not all that heart-stirring. In this story, there's no shepherd, no messenger, no sphinx. No head is severed by a sword. No one is born or dies because of it. Nor can it be told to others. What I face is the revelation. It is an unseen enemy. It is described as supreme wisdom, the voice from above, and particularly in 6, urging them to fulfill a mission as leaders. It's not a tangible bottle. I can't lay a soft cloth to catch the piece of our soul. But her first words inspire me. Not everything needs a complete reason. One must do something, whatever it is. It's better than just waiting. So is it feasible to fight knowledge with knowledge? Remove the picture book, and the other books in front of me are still more than enough to fill this modest space. If the revelation is the wisdom destined to completely fill a person, perhaps I can do a little preparation work. It's like filling the bottle with stone beforehand so it won't be easily knocked over. Euclid elements. In school, it's considered the most basic text, but I dare not say I truly understand it. It is just the simplest of reading that the deepest wisdom is found. This is a suitable beginning. Everyone has their own soul number. I am not the only one chasing truth across the beach. 210 and 37 are extremely intelligent children, but most importantly, they have a boundless desire for truth. They build ships, make ore, and sail into gustus into the sea, tireless navigating the turns, undaunted by the waves crashing against the hull. While I am the side reef on the shore, waiting for the day that fifth will knock me down, filling the treasures of this seabed. Can I withstand this stringent force? Can I overcome the overwhelming will? It seems most impossible. But Regardless, I will make my preparation. I'll sit at the table talking to myself. First page. I start by opening the first book. It's so heavy that its pages seem light. Introduction to Analysis Infinorum. No. I must not have missed something before it. Je pense, tout laissez. This is the language I don't understand. Oh yes, this is it. This is the optimal solution. I remember the previous books mentioned it. Looking back, I was happy in the early stages of my retreat. Knowledge gradually fills me. I stroll along the coast, picking up shells at my feet, putting them in my pocket, and then continuing on my way. I start to think about higher, loftier issues than the direction I'm heading. It is enlightenment, salvation, and immersed feeling. I'm certain that the real solution to the problem is right in front of me. With its help, I can finally stop wandering on the dark. Damn, sure, every day, my body feels light enough to reach the cloudless sky. Now the gods have sent me here to suffer more misfortune. My sorrows are not yet over, and the gods will send endless calamities.
Therefore,
the horse hasn't been bought yet. She stands there. Goodbye has already been said, and there's nothing more to say to each other.
but
People who talk about themselves are a lot more often just trying to hide their true nature. Nine. Classical unities. I see what lies behind the words. Knowledge flows from the minds of those who came before to the tip of their pens, then is ink across pages, bound into books, and prepared for the future. This is much like the fate of six, only that I inherit wisdom from others in a different way. When you gaze at it, it is no longer a complete form. Wisdom is the name forcefully given. It is actually a collection of complex thoughts of a human species. I drink merrily with mountain depths. I voyage with heroes. I invite the wise to my side and debate with them. I read from books that if I were peering into the thoughts of someone else's mind, gradually holding these thoughts in my palm, I realize that however complex their curves may be, they only have two ends. At one end is life, and the other is death. Because this is the fate of a man, we are like hemps of a spinal, an infinite collection despite our varieties. The world is destined for strife, misfortune, and calamity. The good are not always rewarded for their virtue, nor are the wicked always punished for their sins. In the end, everything just happened, purposeless as a pebble washed up on the beach. Is this all there is? That night was darker than usual. Even the shimmering sea was engulfed by the inky blackness. I felt the sand underneath my feet slipping away, and I, in the tutorial, started to float away with it. All colors faded, and I was suspended in an empty black space. That day, Emma wanted to see me. I closed the Netflix of beings and left my room the first time after a long retreat. I returned to the rooftop home and climbed the slopes away from the Hebrew embrace. Emma grasps my hand. She heard of my recent struggles and worries that I'm falling into the world void of knowledge. I guess every word before she speaks: six, wisdom, the ancient maxim, the advice of the golden verses. I heard them all endlessly. I don't blame her. This is the six's duty, her destiny. I brush her hand away and return to my own battlefields. Even if knowledge leads to a void, I need to use it to confront the unknown revelation. Someone stops me. It's 210. I hear him speak with intense emotion about the revelation. The revelation is a curse, my friend. I shouldn't have answered, for this is not his fate. He always tries to meddle in the matters far beyond his ability, which only brings disaster upon himself and others. Cautious Deidaya and proud Icarus both fitted themselves with wings and attempted to fly over the sea. The former landed safely at a low altitude while the latter flew too close to the sun, only to fall from the sky under its wax-melting heat. It's not hard to see the one he more closely resembles. Someone entered my treat. It's 37. She's always curious, always puzzling and questioning. Fortunately, she's also always firmly believes she is right. Sorry, 37. I can't help you with this right now. In truth, I can't answer her. My own question earlier was just more profound than hers, and perhaps I could offer many wise answers, but they might do her more harm than good. The sea nymph, Thetis, has dipped her son Achilles in the river Sphinx, granting him immortality. To keep her baby from being swept away from the strong current, the mother held onto him by the heels. Her love made Achilles' heels his one fatal weakness. It's not hard to see whether 37's own weakness lies. At the very least, I shouldn't reveal them prematurely. I close the door again and sit in silence. And who am I? To which fable do I belong? Yes, I know that too. Adeptus went through his struggles and met his profound doom. Thus, the perfect tragedy came into being. Everything is crystal clear. Now I know it all. But what do I do next? Beneath the sea levels. Since the night my mother passed away, I haven't set foot in the cemetery where she is buried. It's truly unsettling when fate presents itself in such a changeable form. But then, on a whim, I decided to go there. It was like receiving a revelation. Emma? She ought to be busy preparing for the voyage, but here she is, standing silently on the grass, like a living tombstone. When she sees me, she isn't surprised, as she's already known what fate has planned.
Atticus.
My child, your timing is perfect. You know you always harbored doubt, and our shared bloodline has only added to this divide. You try to counter the revelation with knowledge, but it only leads you further into confusion. You get lost in a maze of thought and fear, unable to find the red thread of escape. I heard that this before, Emma. She smiles, shaking her head, and pulls out a hardcover book. I think you're gonna need this. Good afternoon, child. I hear her footsteps fade away beyond the trees, like a dewdrop sliding off a leaf. Lowering my head, I see the name of the book. The voice from above. It's a children's butcher book, familiar to every children on the island. Has been endlessly discussed and even argued over. The story is vivid and clear in my mind without even seeing the pages.
A voice from the above spoke to a man.
An important thing will happen to you. Thus he spends his life waiting for a miracle, until death arrives and nothing has happened. When the man lays sick in bed, he cries up to the voice from above, asking, "When will all that you have promised finally arrive. Hey G Master, how's everything? How are you? The voice from below says, I gave you countless opportunities to work miracles, but you missed them all. Because you thought you knew your fate. You took no action. In the end, you achieved nothing. I used to despise this story because it stressed the will of the heavens as a kind and desirable benefit and said nothing about the cruelty of fate. I do pretty well. I just we're almost finished with the event, and then I'm gonna hop onto Star Rail right after. We'll probably take a small break and then hop onto Honkai Star Rail. So this is the last part of the thing. We'll do like I'll check if there's any more tasks I have to do. Oh wait, there is that one task. The moon down. Okay, yeah. So after this event, and then the other thing. Well, the other one is just fighting. All right, yeah. We'll see. Yeah, doing pretty well. Okay, by stripping away all misunderstanding, a message is simple. Do not wait. You must take destiny into your own hands. This is something I've long known and acted by. What else is there in this book that I had missed, that I needed? Before I realized it, I found and I walked to the beach, and it was already dark. Make good use of this umbrella. Oh. An old familiar friend, a difficult arrival. Hello, me. So what are we fighting? Are we fighting ourselves?
Duty lies with you.
Where is that? For the moment, I knew my fate. I did everything I could to prepare. But you still had doubt, still hesitated, and still have no idea what to do with your fate.
The moment of utterance, the moment of silence.
Wait a sec. I can just do this.
The moment of silence. We walk in long nights. Benefit from reading. Stay balanced. We walk in long nights. Benefit from reading. Time for tongues to the moment of silence. Time for ears to listen. The scale of your soul has tilted. The balance needs to be restored. We walk in long nights. Time for tongues to speak. The moment of silence. The moment of utterance. The scale of your soul has tilted. The balance needs to be restored.
I know it already, but that knowledge leaves you empty. I no longer need this picture book, but this is the wisdom of 6. I'm not that passive reader in the fable. Perhaps you never understood the fable.
Until the torch is lit. Benefit from reading. We walk in long nights. Time for tongues to speak of truth. The moment of utterance. The scale of your soul has tilted. The balance needs to be restored.
Never understood the fable,
Therefore,
but it's so clear, so straightforward. I know every part of its meaning. It's the simplest of fairy tales. In the simplest of reading that the deepest wisdom lies.
I beg your pardon?
Have you forgotten, child?
Until the torch is lit. Benefit from reading. The scale of your soul has tilted. The balance needs to be restored. Time for tongues to speak of truth, the moment of utterance. Time for ears to listen. The scale of your soul has tilted. The balance needs to be restored.
You already know it. You understand every word's meaning and grasp the most crucial idea. You read the wisdom of the ancient and foreseen the fate of the people around you. You even seen your own. Just like the protagonists of that fable. He also once claimed he knew his fate, and thus ceased to act. But in the end, he couldn't have been more wrong.
Victory secured. I should excuse myself.
That night, the wind was gentle. I stand on the beach, watching the night turn into dawn, the ray of golden light arising over the sea. Waves crash forward, halting at my toes. I think of Emma, of those brief, not-so-lonely days that follow. The metal on my forehead is cool to the touch, a gift from Sophia in 37, and apparently from some contribution from 210. Sophia, well, she stands on the shore, hesitant, perhaps looking for wood to make a small boat to follow in their wake. They appear as graceful, gentle, curving lines. I understand it now. I see it. People's destiny spreads out like long trails on the beach. But that's all. I don't understand their feeling, their situation, or the circumstance which they made their clothes. I only know, but I don't understand it, just like my own fate. Suddenly, I feel the humidity of the ocean heavily on my eyes. My vision blurs, and the sea horizon grows distant. It sparkles gently under the ray of the sun. A peak of gray-blue waves, lifting up the white foam, stirs the deep blue beneath. The tides and currents of the sea are constant. I stumble, my toes stepping into the waves. The icy cold wash away all knowledge and words associated with it. Yes, this is what I'm missing. Knowing is not understanding. Seeing is not experiencing. Nothing I thought I knew was more real than cold water lapping my toes. Until the revelation truly appears, I can never claim to have understood fate. I close the pitch book in my hands, feeling its gritty cover and solid texture.
I see.
Then, I don't need any other books. We finished the story. Alright, there's more? The day that follows are calm. The believers, seeking truth and knowledge, sails out to explore the world of constantly changing phenomenons. But the ship's return is far later than expected.
No.
No, impossible. They are already well past the maximum division possible. They must return today. As long as they are alive on the ship, there's no way they cannot be headed back. They waited day and night by the coast, eagerly anticipating the return of their leader and the ship. Soon they grow increasingly panic.
Hey!
Hey look! That's the ship! Until one person shouts excited, jumping high with the joyful news.
Excellent!
I knew it. I knew they were alright.
Great!
I'm so glad. The ship returns from its voyage along its planned route, with no deviation in angle or speed. People run to the coast, waiting to welcome new insights from the outside world, believing these unpredictable ideas will illuminate the path of truth. Dad! Among them is Atticus' dear friends. The emanation descends upon them. Everyone is calling out. Everyone is in the They scream, cry, and fall to the sandy grounds. The ominous noise even reached the roof room. Ignoring his trembling fingers, Atticus takes the book and opens it on the table. Regardless of the worst outcome, this is what he planned to do.
A voice from the above spoke to a man. An important thing will happen to you.
What will it be? The man asked. You will gain wealth. You will gain fame. You will walk in the garden of wisdom and happiness. The voice answered.
The reading voice stops, his finger lingering on the page. At the same time, a geometric shape washes ashore. It's a beautiful tetrahedron, brilliant at the golden hue like Emma's shining blonde hair when she was in good health. The revelation had knocked on his door. Countless ancient knowledge is conveyed through this opponent, or through the imprint of the soul number 6. Mortal, historic, morals, historic, emperor, abstract, mathematics, humanitas. This is the crystallization of wisdom passed down from generation to generation by the island's leader. A glimpse of the materials transmitted through the bloodline of those who perceive the truth. Revelation, knowledge, wisdom. A search on soul determining and vastly the entire lifetime of humans and thoughts from mortals are like bottles of water compared to the mighty ocean. The borders of fate have rolled down from its peak, and a new 6 is born. Thanks for the hydrate. The reef remains unchanged, and is hardened by the eroding force during the long night. The paw's hand gently falls and turns the page. Revelation.
It is just as simple as it is.
The end. Okay, let's collect everything. Nemo.
The sand in the hourglass is running out. An infinite plate of food that is always near your seat. I would not refuse it if you asked me. Thus, an excellent result.
Alright, so 6 hours left on this. Wait, do we have anything here?